Congressman Lara itemize some issues to guide this committee in looking at the issues raised by the privileged speech of our Honorable Majority Leader. And those issues covered a lot, Mr. Chair. So I believe the 5-day request of the two respondents are quite reasonable in order for them to also consider addressing the issues itemized by Honorable Lara. And in connection with the issues raised by Honorable Lara, Mr. Chair, may I respectfully include another one or two, whether or not the National Electrification Administration is the proper venue to look into the possible termination or rescission of the contract, meaning to say the IMC, and whether or not the parameters are within the charter of NEA to do so. That's one of the issues that must be considered also, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The Secretariat is, please take note of the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta.
Noted, Your Honor.
We will now proceed to the third resource person. The Chair would like to recognize any representative from NEA, National Electrification. The Chair would like to recognize Administrator Mariano Almeda.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the House of Representatives. Yes, I am Antonio Mariano Almeda, the current NEA Administrator. First of all, I would like to confirm all the facts and figures as relayed by the Majority Leader, as they are coming from our official records from the National Electrification Administration in all respects. The retrogression of Samselco came about after a due evaluation of my agency sometime April, and it brought to us a red flag. Yes, it's true that as mentioned by the Majority Leader, I was prompted to appoint a project supervisor to oversee the technical operation and both technical and financial operations of Samselco. It was during that time, April 23, that I appointed Attorney Vic Alvaro, my Deputy Administrator for Finance, to be the project supervisor, since he has an extensive experience in the operation of an electric cooperative. It is also during the time that I gave instructions to him. It was also during that time that I gave instructions to him to see to it that the parameters, there are some actions, plan of actions, catch-up plan for Samselco to undertake to overcome the retrogression. And it is also during that time that I directed Samselco through Crown Investments to submit to NEA a catch-up plan of how they will be able to overturn their present categorization and further improve on the next year. It is true that during our budget deliberations, I was called by the Majority Leader, and we lengthily discussed on what are the possible options, of Samselco with regard to the existence of the investment management contract. So it was then during that time na ako po ay nag-submit sa kanya ng report, at doon po sa report na yon, isinaad ko sa kanya na kay Congressman Manix Delipe na ang investment management contract po ang mananaig sa sitwasyon ng Samselco. Pinag-aralan po namin ng mga aming abogado at ako po ay naghanap ng paraan kung paano ako pwede makialam at para malaman natin kung karapat-dapat ang IMC or hindi. Pero sa pagsasaad po namin ng aking mga abogado sa NEA na meron po tayong kontrata na kailangan respetuhin. At ito po yung investment management contract ng Crown Desco na kung saan meron ho doon of course may mga default provisions po. May mga default provisions na kailangan bantayan. Pangalawa, meron hong pamamaraan kung papaano po ite-terminate itong kontrata na to kung sakasakaling mayroong rason ang isa sa mga partido para umatras at umalis sa kontrata. Ang kontrata po ay nagsasaad na ang Samselco Board ang isa sa may karapatan na ipaalam sa Desco, Crown Desco, ang kanilang, I would say, hindi pagpayag kung sakasakaling hindi nila na itutuloy o ite-terminate ang kontrata. At yung notice po na yon, ang sinasabi po ng kontrata, if I will recall it right, it will be subjected to an arbitration. To an arbitration na kung saan ang arbitration ay isasubmit sa isang korte, sa isang regional trial court. I hope I am recalling it right. Pero hindi po ako tumigil doon. Nung nakita ko po yung provision na yon, hindi po ako tumigil doon. At sinabihan ko po ang Samselco at ang Crown, bigyan niyo ako ng catch-up plan at dito babase ko sa inyong catch-up plan. Ako'y mausig na aking imo-monitor ito at sisiguraduhin ko na kung ano yung sinulat nyo rito ay gagawin ninyo. As in fact, sinabi ko po sa Crown at sa Samselco, yung problemang inyong nararanasan ngayon, it will not solve by itself. No? It will not solve by itself. Sa parte ng Crown, maliwanag kong sinabi sa kanila, kailangan nyo pa mag-infuse ng kapital. Because ang inyong systems loss, ang inyong technical systems loss, ay sanhi ng lumang poste, lumang kable, overrated na substation. If I will put it and extrapolate it right, Samselco will be needing another 500 million infusement of capital para maiayos to. At ito ang isang bagay na titignan ko kung gagawin niyo sa inyong catch-up plan. Pinag-uusapan natin dito, systems loss. Hindi ho mawawala yung systems loss kung hindi ho kayo magpapalit ng kable, kung hindi ho kayo magpapalit ng lumang transformer, at kung hindi ho kayo mag-upgrade ng substation. Ngayon, it's worthy to make mention also na dalawang bagay po ang systems loss. Yung tinatawag nating technical at yung non-technical. Kaya po ako ay I would take this opportunity at ako po ay tiklop tuhod na makikiusap kay Congressman Manix Dalipe at sa ating Mayor John Dalipe na tulungan po natin sana ang Samselco. Nakikiusap po ako for and in behalf of Samselco, hindi po ng Crown. For in behalf of Samselco, natulungan po natin ang Samselco mapugsa yung pagnanakaw ng kuryente. Ito po ay isang problema na nagpalugi sa Samselco nung araw nung bago mag-umpisa ang IMC. At ito po ay nangyayari pa rin ngayon. As in fact, I will submit to the committee a report of GM of Samselco that sa mga feeder substation po nila, meron silang metro. meron silang metro na kung saan na measure nila ang technical loss at non-technical loss. Yung non-technical loss po, ito po yung nakaw na kuryente. Kung mamarapatin nyo lang po, pwede ko pa pong banggitin yung mga lugar ng feeder locations para si Congressman Dalipi po ay magkaroon ng idea. Unahin ko po, sa lugar ng Tumaga, 21% ang systems loss. 3% po ang technical loss, 18% po ang non-technical loss. Sa lugar po ng Tetuan, 23% po ang technical loss. 3% po ang 23% po ang system loss, 3% po ron ay technical, 20% ay non-technical. Sa lugar po ng Baliwasan, 24% ang systems loss, 2% po ang technical, 22% po ang non-technical. At dito po sa lugar ng Sinulog, 27% po ang systems loss, 5% po ang technical, 22% ay non-technical.
Bakit hindi pareho yung ano mo? Kung 2% lang ang non-technical, ang technical, edi 80% yung non-technical dapat. Kasi systems loss lang pinag-uusapan eh.
Hindi, ito po ay per feeder basis, per feeder
Kaya nga, pag
location.
sinabi mong system loss, 5% lang yung non-technical, dapat yung kabuuan nun, non-technical lahat yun. Kasi hindi namin maintindihan pagka ganun.
Okay, Kong, Mr. Chair. Sa totoo lang po, sa 22% na declared systems loss overall ng SAMSELCO, 14% po doon ay non-technical. Kaya ako po ay kinausap ko ang management ng SAMSELCO. Sabi ko, alam ba ni Mayor Dalipi to or ng mga pamumunuan ng Zamboanga City? Kasi kung hindi nila alam, hindi nila kayo pwedeng tulungan. Dahil kung hindi nila alam kung paano kayo tutulungan, dapat humingi na kayo ng tulong. And I believe this should be a whole government approach. Kasi ito rin po ang problemang na-encounter namin sa maraming lugar, lalo na po sa Mindanao. Hindi ko na po babanggitin yung ibang lugar. Ito po ang isang problema na ang NEA at ang administrator po, yan po ang problema kanyang sinupugsa at binibigyan solusyon. Kaya ako po mismo ang pumupunta sa mga governor, mayors, at ako po ay nakikiusap kay Congressman Dalipe na sana po tulungan natin ang SAMSELCO na mapugsa itong pagnanakaw ng kuryente. At yun po ay isang malaking bagay po na makapagbababa ng systems loss. Kasi po, inuobliga po sila na maglagdagdag ng puhunan para pagandahin ang serbisyo at ang pasilidad ng kanilang distribution. Pero kung ang pagnanakaw po ay hindi mapupugsa, ay malaki pa rin ho ang magiging problema natin. At gusto ko lang po idagdag, Mr. Chair, alam niyo po yung pagpupugsa at pagsusolve ng pagnanakaw, alam niyo po merong risko ng agaw buhay doon eh. Lalo na ho sa mga ibang, naintindihan ko po ang management ng SAMSELCO na meron ho silang kaba. Sabi nila sa akin, admin, kinakabahan po kami kasi may lugar po kaming natatakot kaming pasukin.
Chair, pwede po bang magtanong in connection with the system loss?
Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, tama po yung sinasabi ni Administrator, pero
Congressman Marcoleta.
makakatulong po si Mayor Dalipe rito kung tutulong po yung ERC. Kasi po ang ERC, malaki po yung pananagutan niya rin dito eh. Matagal ko na pong sinasabi, kahit na po nung ini-interpellate ko si...
Congressman, patapusin po muna and then we will proceed to
Hindi
the
kasi po system
interpellation.
loss lang po yung sinasabi niya eh. Kaya
Sige,
baka
after
makalimutan natin yun eh.
After we recognize the representative of NIA, we will proceed to the representative of ERC. Please continue, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yung aking pong nakikitang problema sa systems loss, yun po ay aming tututukan at sa aming pagtutok sa NEA, gaya po, ulitin ko po ulit, ako'y tiklop tuhod na makikiusap po kay Congressman Dalipe at kay Mayor Jan Dalipe at sa lahat po ng kapulisan dyan po sa Zamboanga City. Sana po alalayan at tulungan ang SAMSELCO para pugsain ang nakawan ng kuryente. Ngayon, doon naman po sa bagay ng collection efficiency. Totoo po yun, ang collection efficiency po ng SAMSELCO ay nasa 91% average lang po. Pero nung tinignan ko po ang kanilang current to current, meaning po ang ibig sabihin ay buwanan na koleksyon ng kanilang mga konsumidor, nasa 96-97% po. Ang naghumahatak po sa kanila, pababa, ay yung kanilang mga differential billing.
Sir, please wrap up your statement.
Ano po ba ho itong differential billing? Ito po yung mga billing na nahuli nilang nagnanakaw. At binibigyan nila ng surcharge and penalties na nagkakahalaga in total ng 420 million, thereabouts. So dito po, nababatak po pababa ang kanilang collection efficiency. So for the meantime, yun lang po muna, Mr. Chair, ang aking may share, and I would be open and willing to answer any questions and interpellations later. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Rodante Marcoleta, do you have any point that you wish to share to the committee?
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Tama po yung sinasabi niya sa system laws, ngunit si Mayor Dalipe makatutulong lamang po talaga effectively kung tutulungan din siya ng ERC. Yung po kasing non-technical, pangkaraniwan na po yan, ninakaw na kuryente o kaya nagkamali yung accountant, nagkamali yung bookkeeper, lahat na ng pagkakamali. Hindi po dapat bayaran yun ng consumer. Wala pong kinalaman ng consumer doon. Sa akin pong palagay, legitimate risk po yun ng isang nagninegosyo. Hindi dapat ipabalikat sa mamamayan yung isang kawalan ng isang gumagawa ng kuryente na hindi naman niya pinakinabangan. Meron po tayong isang Supreme Court ruling na lahat po ng expense ng isang distribution company na hindi po pinakinabangan ng isang consumer, wala po kayong karapatan na ipataw sa kanya because that one is unconscionable. So ang ERC po kasi, meron naman siyang mandato na kwentahin mo talaga magkano yung system loss na ipapataw mo. Bakit kasi kailangan maging 14%? Yun po sana itatanong ko muna, Mr. Chair, considering na talaga pong ang system loss ay isa sa balakid para sa ikabubuhay ng isang electric cooperative. Magagawa lang ni Mayor Dalipe at saka ni Majority Leader Dalipe kung ang ERC na po mismo ang tutulong sa kanila direkla o ang system loss natin, zero na lang. Kasi hindi po dapat bayaran talaga ng ano yun ng consumer Ano po ang batayan ninyo? Bakit kailangan bayaran ng consumer ang isang bagay na hindi niya pinakinabangan? Kahit ano pong industry ay meron pong risk. These are calculated elements of risk. Dapat po na marirecognize ninyo, maski po insurance company na nag-i-insure ng risk, maski sila may panganib din, may tumitiklop ding insurance companies. Bakit po yung Meralco? Nabingkit ko naman ng Meralco. Nakakita ka ba ng isang industriya na walang risk? Bago po kayo nagpasya na gumawa ng kuryente, alam po ninyo may technical risk kayo. Meron kayong non-technical, may technical loss kayo, may non-technical loss. Pero sumulong pa din kayo, recognizing all these risks as legitimate ones. Pagkatapos pababayad nyo sa consumer, ano nang pong katarungan nun? So ang ERC po, Mr. Chair, nasa mandato po nila na kwentahin nila talaga yon. Kung gusto nyo, ayaw nyo ng zero, o kahit siguro 1% na lang muna, maligaya ni si Majority Leader dyan. 1% na lang muna hanggang sa maging zero. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. The Chair would like, before we recognize the next speaker, the Chair would like to recognize the Honorable Crispin Diego Ping Remulla of the 7th District of Cavite, Honorable Ernesto M. Dionisio Jr. of the 1st District of Manila, and the Honorable Paduano. Honorable Joseph Caraps Paduano of the Abang Lingkod. We will now proceed to the ERC. Any representative na gusto pong magsalita? Sino po?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. My name is Attorney Nancy Kawamoto from
Attorney
Nancy Kawamoto po, Mr.
Nancy
Chair.
Kawamoto, you
Yes.
are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, the distinguished members of this honorable committee, and good morning to the other resource speakers as well as all those who are in attendance for today's committee hearing. My name is Attorney Nancy Kawamoto of the Attorney 3 of the Legal Service of the ERC. With me today is Engineer Ranilo Maatubang from our Regulatory Operations Service. So first and foremost, Mr. Chair, we would like to express our gratitude to this honorable committee for giving the ERC the opportunity to provide our position with regard to this subject matter. The ERC is committed to provide our findings and corroborate any information based on the data that we currently have on hand. For now, siguro po, Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of this honorable committee, I would like to begin by providing some data that would corroborate the data that the Honorable Congressman Dalipe has already mentioned in his speech earlier with regard to the performance of Zamzelco. So with regard to the performance of Zamzelco, we can confirm that according to its reliability performance standard, pagdating po naman po sa reliability performance standard, Zamzelco is fully compliant with for SAIFI po, sa reliability po nila, sa frequency po ng power interruption nila. For the year 2023, they've only experienced an interruption of 7.86 occurrence that year, which is well within the performance reliability standard of 20 occurrences per year. And as far as the duration is concerned, or the SID, meron naman po silang 596.39 minutes worth of power interruption, which is well within the power reliability standards of 2,700 minutes per year. Now, this would amount, Mr. Chair, to 45 hours annually. However, where it becomes problematic, Mr. Chair, as mentioned by the Honorable Congressman Dalipe, is when we take a look at the system efficiency monitoring. According to the data submitted to the ERC, Zamzelco has been experiencing a total system loss of an average of around 20% since 2018. Ngayon po, for 2023, based on the annual report submitted to the Commission and based on the data that we have right now, the total systems loss is 19.56%. This is according to the data as of the end of 2023. Now, lastly, Mr. Chair, I would like to provide some information and data on the financial condition of Zamzelco. We have also the data based on the audited financial statements in Zamzelco's annual report submitted to the Commission. As of 2023, we can confirm that Zamzelco has registered a total net loss of 266,028,707. So in short, Mr. Chair, we are confirming that annually po, Zamzelco is experiencing a total net loss. Yung total liability po ni Zamzelco, I think, has been provided by the good administrator of NEA and was also provided by the Honorable Congressman Dalipe. For now, Mr. Chair, that would be all for ERC.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
just wanna,
Honorable
to
Majority
the
Floor Leader.
representative ERC, so you're confirming before this committee na nalulugi ang Zamboanga City Electric Cooperative annually?
Good morning, Ms. Congressman. Based po sa audited financial statements na submitted po ng Zamzelco to the ERC sa annual reports po talaga nila, yes po, we can confirm that they are experiencing a total net loss.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Could you provide us with your data? Yung mga data pong binanggit ninyo tsaka yung speech niyo, pwede po ba bigyan niyo po sa amin?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We are committed to provide the data po.
And also, yeah, Mr. Chair. And also, Mr. Chair, a follow-up question to the administrator of NEA para matapos na itong usapan na kung anong totoong figures kasi sa Zamboanga may hindi daw tama yung pinipresenta kong figures galing sa administrator ng NEA. Can I ask the administrator of NEA, would you confirm that as the data you gave me, June 30, 2024, the total liabilities of Zamzelco is 4.6 billion pesos yung total utang niya June 30, 2024 based on your communication.
Yes, Mr. Chair. That's based on our records.
Okay, thank you. At least para masettle na yung issue, sinasabi ngayon ng administrator ng NEA, based on the records, June 30, 2024, ang total na utang ng Samselco is 4.6 billion pesos. Settled na tayo doon. Based also on the statement of the Energy Regulatory Commission, ERC, nalulugi taon-taon ang Samselco. Mr. Chair. Okay, sige. At least para we can move on to other issues. Anyway, I will take my time later, Mr. Chair. I know there's a list because I also would want to respond to the appeal made by the administrator. Later, I will respond to that. Okay.
Okay. Last resource person, the representative of Department of Energy, Undersecretary Sharon Garin. You're recognized po, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning to all the honorable members of the House today. And thank you, Mr. Chair. And we would like to, in behalf of DOE, we would like to thank Majority Leader Felipe for putting this matter on the table, because Samselco back in before 2019, they were having problems kasi naging category D na siya that time. So that's why there was an intervention, and finally it came about that there was a management agreement na execute in 2019. I guess the point is that the purpose of that management agreement is to perform better than the previous. And I think that's the crux of the matter. If the performance did improve, and maybe if we can improve some more, kung nag-improve siya, or if not, then where is the problem? I just wanted to elaborate on 2019, kung kailan sila execute ng contract. Kung yung system, ang applicable system loss was 13%, 21% yan dati. Now, there is still an argument of how do we define system loss and but that's on record of the DOE, because nag-audit kasi yan dati ng 2018. So, as of 2019, ang assessment ng Samselco, sa standards nila nung 2019, yung cash general fund nila, compliant sila. Collection efficiency, non-compliant siya. Profitability, negative, non-compliant din siya. Sa net worth, it was then at that time 2 billion and 2 billion ba to? 2 million. 2 billion pesos. System loss was 22%, which is non-compliant also. And ang payments niya sa NGCP, sa GENCO, sa NEO, tsaka yung mga utang niya, it was also in arrears, so non-compliant siya. So that was the purpose of the management agreement. And as elaborated by the majority leader, there are still problems and even worsening problems. And hopefully with this, we can also replicate what will be the actions, because there are also other co-ops that are suffering from this kind of situation. So for that, we were very thankful for the majority leader. Para po, as a policy maker, DOE will appreciate more feedback from the congressmen, from the representatives, and also from the resource speakers. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Ma'am, with your indulgence, could you please furnish the committee with a copy of your datas and yung mga binabanggit nyo po?
Yes, sir. We can give you the audit report back
Yes.
in 2018, 2019, sir.
All
And
right.
then the recent reports, I think the NEA and the ERC reports are more updated,
All
Mr.
right,
Chair.
thank you. We will now proceed to the interpellation. The first interpellator is the Honorable Presley De Jesus. You are now recognized, the Honorable Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Of course, to our Majority Floor Leader, to my colleagues here, to all resource persons. Magandang umaga po sa atin lahat, no? You know, I, being the representative of the electric consumers, no, I am representing all the electric cooperatives as well as the member consumer owners of electric cooperatives, no? So for me, it pains me when I hear that one of the electric cooperatives ay masyadong mataas ang system loss. As you know, system loss is one of only of the variables kung saan ang mga tumataas ang presyo ng kuryente natin. So not all electric cooperatives, no? There are only few that under IMC na electric cooperatives. If I'm not mistaken, there's only 2 or 3, maybe Pelco 2, Presco, and this one, Samselco. The other one is a joint venture, no? But again, as what Majority Floor Leader said a while ago, that the Siargao, which is the general manager, is Congressman Dogok, is very low. That's why it's so important that we invite PISAM, because the power sector asset liability management is the one